And we exist! Huzzah! We are here. Except it's not showing what I want it to show. Haha! Come on, show the thingy. Oh my god. There's so many options. You guys want to see the Windows Media Player? No? Oh, that's not the one we want. Hold on. Nope, I don't even know why that's an option. Defaults. No, that's not what I want. Oh, I had this set up all nice and shit, too. This is not what I wanted to show you guys. Hold on. Hold on, we're doing things. Ugh. Dang it, you know what would be easier? You know what would be easier than whatever oh, there it goes. Of course, there it goes. Whatever, I guess. As long as it works. I don't know why it suddenly decided to work. But we're going to be starting with our primitive and sighthound breeds for this. And the first one that I have in my book, because it's going to be easier for me to just go page by page through the book, rather than going alphabetically or whatever random way we decide to do it. It's going to be easier for me to just go page by page through the breeds that are listed. The first one we have is the Cirneco dell'Etna, which is a dog from Italy. Country of origin is Italy. This elegant ancient breed of dog is native to Sicily and can be found all over that small island, particularly around Mount Etna, hence the name. These are tough, rugged dogs that thrive in the hot climate of their home country and are able to hunt across the harsh volcanic terrain surrounding the mountain. Historically, they were widely used for hunting rabbits, a task at which they still excel today. However, these smart, lively dogs also make good companions for active homes. They are considered a medium-small breed that require a decent amount of exercise. On a scale of 1 to 5, they reach about a 4. They don't generally take a whole lot of grooming because they have a short coat. A short, sleek coat on the head, ears, and legs with slightly longer on the body. They have an aptitude for hunting. Oh no, your Twitch lagged. Don't worry, buddy. We're going to be talking about these guys for a bit. They are a medium-small breed with a 4 out of 5 on the scale for exercise, a 1 out of 5 for grooming. They're really good at hunting and being companion dogs. Generally, they measure about 16 to 20 inches tall and weigh about 17 to 27 pounds, with an average life expectancy of 12 to 15 years, which is a lot of years, not gonna lie. They are not recognized by the AKC currently, but they are under FSS, which means that they are working towards becoming an AKC recognized breed. Usually breeds that are FSS are breeds that either don't have enough dogs, there's not enough interest in the breed, or they don't have breed clubs or breed history yet. So they are working on becoming a recognized breed for the AKC. On a scale of 1 to 5, they score a 4 in affection, a 4 in playfulness, a 4 in friendliness to other dogs, a 4 in friendliness to strangers, and about a 3.5 on training. So they might be a bit stubborn, but otherwise pretty easy to train. They have upright ears that are set high on the head and close together, short sleek coat on the head, ears, and legs with a slightly longer coat on the body. They have a straight top line that slopes from the withers to the rump, a low-set tail carried high, slightly curved when the dog is moving, tan or chestnut on sandy sides, it says. Now this is the thing, when I was looking at the AKC, the recognized color for the breed is tan with allowance for white markings. They have slightly oval, strong, and well-knuckled feet. So let's do our doodle of these guys, because they're kind of a little funky looking. They kind of remind me of like a Pharaoh's hound, which I don't know where that would be listed in this book if we even have it. But you'll notice as we work on our dogs that a lot of them really have this kind of... A lot of the primitive and sighthound breeds, I would say, have a lot of very narrow faces and big pointy ears a lot of the time. So we're going to go... These guys don't really have, like, distinct eye shape. That might be a little bit too far apart on the eyeballs. That's my bad. And then they've got this very... They have this very, like, short stop that honestly is kind of less stoppy and a bit more slanty. It's a very smooth slope here to what is a very long snoot. And they have like a very flat head, which is interesting. And of course, big old doggy snoot. And their snoot sits very much at the end of their face. Some breeds you'll see like the nose will sit kind of more on top, and others you'll see it'll sit more on the front. They also have like a very square like jawline. Like they just have this really square, blocky shape to them. And then their head kind of like so. We are going for a bit more of a toony drawing with this, because I'm not a big fan of drawing realistically, really, but we do also have kind of like a stop, not a stop, like a little head dent, kind of like a lot of the pity breeds have. But overall, their head is pretty flat. Got a very flat looking noggin. We also don't have like a super... They don't have like a super dramatic lip line. Some breeds have like jowls. These guys are pretty... pretty chill. In fact, actually, I'm not even going to give them like actual eyebrows. We're just going to kind of... go like this. And now this is the hard part. We gotta do them earsies. And their ears, like they said, are very high set. So they kind of start... I'm actually gonna draw them in a slightly different shade. Kind of seem to start right here. And then end here. And they've got massive fucking ear. Like... we're talking the ear is the same height as the head on these guys. Just these big ol' earsies. Thank you for the lurk. Have fun lurking. Working on your commission. You got no problem with lurking. Just remember, this is all gonna be on the test. They got very, very thin ears. Like a nice meaty spot right here. Maybe I should even go a bit more like this, because they have very, very thin, tall ears. Like they're not very, very meaty for dog ears. I'm gonna round out that tip a bit more though. And I could leave this at just a headshot, but I think I'd like to actually make it like a full body thing. So we're gonna scale this down a bit. We're gonna... That's fucking huge. We don't need that much body. They do have... They're very much like a... Because if we assume this here is the spine, right? Like I said, it has a very straight top line, slopes from the withers to the rump. So we're going kind of like this. I know this is the hips. And they've got this very bony tail that a lot of your sight hounds really have. They're such skinny. They got like this... I feel like I'll fail the test. I'm horrible at doing tests. Don't worry, buddy. We got this. I don't know how... I wouldn't say their tail is curly. They got like a... It's just kind of a long tail. It's a bit low set, though. Because if I... Oop, that's not what I wanted. There we go. That's a bit more... They've got this very dramatic curve on their hips that then slopes into their tail shape. There we go. And they're like a very... kind of lanky. They're very muscular. They've got... This is like their shoulder, right? Like this is... And that comes out to like their elbow here. There's like this. They got very lanky. They're lanky boys. And they got like little rabbit feet. That's not how dog legs work. Hold on. We gotta get... their wristicles in there. And they have very small feet compared to the rest of them. I'm just gonna... Oh, I zoomed in on Twitch. Uh-oh. Everything's big now. Upside, I can now read chat easily. There we go. they've got like, I guess they don't really have like super defined knuckles. They got kind of just your standard little doggy feet. And of course, I am not good at all at drawing dog feet, realistically in any way. I'm gonna draw their little toenails. And there should be another one peeking out. Although I don't know that this is really the correct proportions either for these. So I do think these are a bit small. They do have little feet, but they aren't that little. They're a bit more proportionate than that. And then we might have made this leg just a little bit too long. That looks better, and if we assume that the other shoulder is here. Gonna give him kind of this like, this gentle little leg lift. And then again, I think I drew the forearm just a little too long. I think I might actually need to move this, because we're kind of more like a 3/4 view, so the chest is kind of rotated towards us a bit more. And while they have a deep chest, it doesn't necessarily reach all the way to the elbows, it looks like. It looks like they kind of just here. I have a feeling I made this thigh too long. I also made it too thick. They have very skinny anatomy overall. We're gonna go like this, less of a bend. this very, very skinny thigh. And then we've got let's take this out of it. There we go. There's our ankle. That's much better. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, just to make my life easier, I'm going to copy, paste. I'm going to scoot him over a little bit. Raise it up a little bit. And then tilt it so it looks a bit more like he's got that limb a bit further forward to compensate for that weight distribution. There we go. And then we can kind of just yeah, look at us go. Look at us go. I still kind of feel like we could scale up the ears a bit more. Because, again, like, I need you to understand how fucking massive the ears are on these guys. In fact, I'm just going to... Because I really like this ear shape. I just need it. Just kind of need it to keep going. And then we'll kind of do the same thing over here. Yeah, that feels more proportional for this dog. They have huge freaking ears, like just freaking massive pointy ears. I'm gonna take that curve in a bit, I think. I don't know, I feel like they got kind of like this. They got this whole thing going on. I'm not sure. I really. There we go. It's a lot better, I feel like. Oh, did I call them wristicles? I wasn't paying attention. I just call things, you know? It's not their angsticles, it's their wristicles. Although we shouldn't be seeing that. This should be a bit more. Like this. Get that hip turned. That away. And then these guys are a little bit further. So we do actually get to see these ones. But yeah, no, they're very lean dogs, very muscular. Like, we are going to see this shoulder muscle here. All of this meaty meat. And like we do... And they're also kind of a bony breed, you know, just because that's the way they are, so... I'm gonna come back into the face a bit and do some details, like their surprisingly flat snoot. Like if this is like the top here, we got this, and like that's pretty much it. That's their entire schnoz. Although I will say it kind of goes a bit more like so, but you know, potato tomato at that point. And they do have this very small chin. Very small chin, but they've got a Chad face. This guy's got the Chad face. That jawline is sharp and comes up high, like... Oh, I changed the web page, and now you guys can actually see what you're supposed to be seeing. There we go. A hydrate, thank you for the hydrate. Half a second, let me grab my water. I still got that water from yesterday, because God knows I don't drink it that well. Alright. And then I think that kinda... That kinda does it for our sketch, I think. For this guy, so I think we can actually... He's got a very noodly tail. Like, it doesn't really taper or anything. It straight up is just bones. Their tails, just oops all bones. Very thin... Much noodle. Just like Forrest, whenever we shave his tail nape, he just... It's just oops all bone. It's the flavored water. It's the flavored... It's carbonated. God forbid I have flavored water. I don't know, am I proportionately doing this right? I don't draw quads a lot, so... I feel like... Because if we're looking at, like, this image, right? This one right here, which is what I'm looking at on Wikipedia, a little bit larger. The knee kinda ends where the elbow ends. So this should... We should be seeing this, but then we should also be seeing this. And like, it is a gradual slope, but... Can I merge these down? Thank you. So then that knee's a little bit higher there. And we do get to see the the sinew of the leg. We get to see all that musculature, that meaty meat. They're not a frontal chested kind of dog though. Like their chest does not come very far forward. Also means that the shoulders should probably chill the fuck out, maybe. In fact, we'll actually just we'll take that shoulder off, right? Because I think that's a bit more realistic. Even if we are looking at it from an angle. There we go, that's a bit better. Because, like, their chest does not... It also does like this very... There we go. I feel like that's a much better shape for how they look. They got kind of... It's not like a broad chest. It's pretty average, I'd say. But it is shallow. Like, it doesn't stick out to, like, here, like some breeds do. I think this looks a lot better. That's a lot better. Right, I don't do full body drawings pretty much ever, honestly. The closest I get to doing like a full body drawing, it would be like a reference sheet, which I'd argue is not the same thing, because I'm drawing for a fursuit, not a character, you know? But I think now we can do our line art. Which actually, I'm going to come in with a dark brown color, I think, for the line art. Because then we're going to go in and we're going to color this guy. And we'll use this as like... just like an accent, really. Ooh. I can't draw. Cool. So glad about that. I'm so good, guys. So good at drawing. Oh god, lag. There we go. I'm actually going to change that line art there because they are supposed to be close together on the head. Granted, their head is very wide. But I feel like that fits the vibe a bit more. I think too, like this, doing this thing, this drawing each week will help me in general with, like, it's good practice, you know, for drawing, I want to say feral art, I guess. Some people have opinions about whether or not it should exist, but I argue Disney's The Lion King exists. So, and to me, feral refers to whether they are bipedal or quadrupedal, not necessarily whether or not they are sentient. I feel like that's where a lot of the disconnect with the drama around that comes from, is how we're referring to our different terms and what they actually mean. There we go. Sloped at the withers. I want to draw more full bodies, I just can't get the paws looking right. I draw them more like hooves on accident. Well, see, that's the thing. If you're used to drawing hooves, that's kind of how your brain defaults, right? I draw a lot of paws, but I also draw them in kind of the same positions all the time. So actually, like, drawing them from different angles is extremely difficult. Like, I've got this here, which is going pretty well, but it's about as well can go, I suppose. Guys also have like some very, I want to say flat feet, but that's not really what I mean. Like, their toes aren't really that defined between outer and inner toes, right? Like, some breeds, you'll have toes where, like, this is, like, say, the outermost toe, and then this is the innermost toe, right? Like, there's a huge gap here, there's a huge gap here. These guys have this gap here, but then their feet kind of just do that, right? Like, there's nothing else really separating their toes. And even then, like, this gap is not very large. It's a pretty small gap on their toesies. Whoa! Another hydrate. Thank you for the hydrate. It's flavored water, that's why it sounds psha. There we go. And then I'm gonna come in and do, oh, that's an eraser, that's why it's not working. Like, man, it's not drawing the line I want it to draw. I wonder why. I'm actually going to erase this little line, because I feel like that doesn't follow the line of the body. The line of the body. Right. There we go. It does not help that having this many web pages open at the same time as Photoshop and Vedo2 and all that for Twitch and streaming. My computer is not very happy with me right now, so. I'm getting a lot of lag on Photoshop, just trying to keep my everything up. Oop, that's not the shape I wanted. This This is probably the hardest part, is just... Whoop. Oh my god, Photoshop, don't do this to me. See, because like it got really narrow there for no frickin' reason. I hate this tail so much. What is that? What is that? That's better. I still don't like it, but it's better. Got one of the character flats done. I have the other character flats to do, and it's just on to the mech gear. I haven't had to draw a mech in a hot minute. I'm going to define this thigh a bit more. I'm going to draw our inner line there. Because this is kind of like where the ribs go, and then there's like the extra fleshy part. I don't know if you've ever looked at a dog, but like you can kind of see it on these guys. This is like this gap here where the ribs come up to the hips. And then this is kind of like the groinal area, I guess, where there's like the extra skin for the belly. You know, the belly skin. Some dogs just straight up, like your labs, will have a lot of belly, but some dogs, like your greyhounds, will have like no belly. And then some dogs' rib cages will, you know, be way down here, and then their waists will be up here, and then other dogs will have a rib up here, but their waist is here, so then they just kind of look like that. It all depends on the breed, but that's why we're doodling them. These guys are very lanky boys, very skinny, but you're gonna notice as we go through and do our different dogs each week that a lot of your hounds, your sight hounds especially, and your primitive breeds are just very freaking lanky. They are just lanky little children waiting to exist. And, you know, sometimes I don't really know how they manage to exist in the way that they do. We're going to draw this claw first, and then we'll draw this claw. Because then we can go kind of like this. There we go. And then we're gonna get this claw in here. Yeah, they got kind of these very low, flat feetsies. I don't like the way this in particular looks, though. Nope, I don't like that either. Never mind, we're just gonna leave it. I do want to bring this line down, though, because that makes him look really... We're just gonna redraw that line entirely, actually. So I decree we redraw this entire line. I'm not good at doing like a bent Tootsie Wootsie. No, I never drew this part of his ear. There we go. We'll make this come up just a little bit. Just trying to see what I did and didn't get. I think this is good. This is good for line art. And now we're gonna kind of do... I'm gonna do his tan coloring, right? Which they're listed as tan and chestnut on the AKC site. They are listed solely as tan with white markings. So I'm going to selecticals, select the inverse. My family has a Great Dane. Thing is skin and bones with a massive head. Yes, they are. We had a friend in Alabama who had a Great Dane, and he was... Oop, this is the wrong layer. He was massive. Freaking huge. Sorry, I'm trying to get like the right kind of... This is a bit too red. That's better. And he was just a big dog, you know? And that poor dog, their house was very, like, narrow, very compact. Not cramped, per se, but it is for a Great Dane, I'm sure. And he would just wag his tail. There was dents on the, like, door frames and edges of walls where he would wag his tail, and it would hit the wall so hard that it just left dents on the wall. It was insane. I'm gonna kind of do... Because, like, this is supposed to be this, right? I'm actually gonna... Hold on. Let me do this as, like, a separate layer. Because they kind of have this whole... thing going. Because they very much have, like, pinkish skin. I think actually we can make this inner thigh this color too. Doesn't really blend out enough for me. Hold on. I'm braining so hard. That's better. That's more of the kind of gradient I want on the inner thigh for the skin. Get the same thing along like the armpits and stuff too, I'm sure. Because like you can see it a lot on the puppies. It's a lot less noticeable on the adults, it seems. Really just gonna kind of keep this. Swoop, swoop, swoop. To like our skin and stuff, you know, our kind of more of our extremities, where our colors are thin, a little bit more pale. Oh, that's the wrong tool. I'm actually going to, yeah. Steal this color again. Burp. Because they are listed on AKC as tan with white markings. But they really aren't like tan per se. And then we're gonna kind of come in here. We're gonna kind of desaturate a little bit. We're gonna do a bit more of a desaturated color for our claws and our snoot. Because they are very, very monochrome. And like they got, I guess it's kind of like a, nah, their snoot's pretty brownish pink. We could go a little bit warmer with it. A little bit more desaturated, a little bit warmer. There we go. Come in and do the snoot here. And then actually the inside of their ears, we're going to give this lighter color that we had. Woo! Thank you for the check-in. For like their skin tone, this is very much like a... This is very much just a brown dog, you know? Like, this is like your standard brown dog. He might be a little lanky. Might be a little noodly. But this is, in fact, a brown dog. And then I'm going to... I don't want to go too close to white for the eyes, so I'm just going to kind of use the same color I used for the skin. And also, I don't really like that. There we go. So then, like... I guess I don't know what their eye color is. I'm going to assume it's, like most dogs, a really dark brown. Usually if eye color is like a specific thing that's specified in the breed standard. Which again, these guys aren't recognized by AKC yet. They're kind of just out there existing. But they aren't actually considered a breed. And I think that just about does it. Aside from, like, some shading, some lighting, you know. I'm also going to take this color, and we're just gonna brighten that up. We're gonna go... Actually, we're gonna select inverse. There we go. And I'm going to give him, this guy, some highlights here. Alright, right here. And the snow is on, the nose is on like the front of their face, so the nose isn't going to get a lot of highlight. The inside of the ears, the outer edge of the ear here. You get a lot of bit of lighting here, a little bit here, just a little bit. Just a little bit of lighting right here. Oh, probably gonna get some on the feetsies and on the forelimbs. Not gonna get a whole lot of lighting on these legs here because this is... Ooh, that's the wrong thing. This is the inner edge of the leg, but we'll get some like edge lighting on it. Probably the same deal here. We'll get some edge lighting. This tail is going to get a hell of a lot of lighting right on top of it. Because we're kind of just assuming that the light's coming in from this direction over here. Yeah. And then we're going to come in with our shading, which I'm going to take that dark brown We're gonna desaturate it some more. Going a little bit more yellow, I think. And we're gonna call this like our dark. Our dark areas here. There's gonna be some definite shading here. Definitely a bit happening here. A little bit here. Hard shading there. Lots of shading along all of our muscly areas on our dog. Because he's a muscly boy. And this honestly, this whole leg. All of this. Although we'll probably get a little bit less on that inner... on that inner leg there. Definitely gonna get some shading here again, back the legs. And then kind of like the opposite for our tail, we're gonna get a lot of shading right at the base, and then it's gonna taper out as we get closer to the edge of the tail. A little bit of detail shading here and there. Back of the ear will definitely get some shading. So now I'm going to filter, blur, Gaussian on that lighting. No, that's the line art. We're not trying to blur the line art. There we go. Filter, blur, Gaussian on the lighting. We don't want it to be super soft light, so I think 11's pretty good. And then we'll do the same on our shading. And I'll come back in and I'll refill some of the areas that I did not want to lose their shading. Or that I want darker shading in. Because like right here, we want that shading back. Right here, we want our shading back. Wow, wow. There we go. And then we're gonna... I like multiply, but I like linear burn is usually more my go-to, because we could do... I guess it depends. Do we really want warm, or do we want less warm for our shading? That's kind of like our options for that. And then for you, we want to do not color dodge. We like linear dodge. Linear dodge is always a good one, but screen is also good. I'm actually going to do... yeah, we'll leave it with screen. We're going to really lower that opacity. Because we're not looking for super dramatic lighting change. We're just kind of... just some highlights. And then I'm going to come in and we're going to do like... boop, 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 boop. I'm actually going to turn the opacity down on my brush and soften it a bit for these little highlights here around the eyes. And then we'll add a little bit of a... Just a little bit of highlights to our nails. Because they are shiny. Yeah. I might actually still turn down that shading just a tidbit because it's a bit dramatic. It's a bit dramatic shading. But there we go. We've got most of our stuff. And I think he looks pretty good. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to delete this layer I just made. We're going to take all of these, we're going to duplicate them, we're going to merge them, and we're going to stroke, but I kind of want to stroke them with, that sounds horrible, it's like a nice sandy color, I think. So I'm going to do 10. 50. How big is too big? That's a lot. That's good. Maybe not a sandy color. Maybe we'll lean a little bit more pinkish. That's better. I like that. And now we've got our guy. Look at him, look at him. Ooh, ooh. Oh, I'm static-keying on my tablet and it's causing it to short. Oh, that is funny. Are we not able to type now? Is that... Oh no, I was typing. It was just... stupid. Because for some reason, the font... was white. Okay, let's bring this... Can I please just type? There we go. Now this is how you spell it. The D in Dell is not to be capitalized, which I thought was interesting. I wish this was Illustrator, because if it was Illustrator I could get it to follow the curve of his back, but I can't, or at least like the curve of his tail. Like, I think that would be cool. Ooh, wait. Warp text. Oh, guys, hold on. Guys. Okay, hold on. I just gotta make this. I gotta make the text physically smaller because we're at like 48 point. Let's try 16. Yeah, guys, look at that. I don't know if I really like it in the tail because I have to give it like this super dramatic bend in order to get it to... Oh, come on, don't be a butt. You're here! Look at you! I like that. I like that. We're going to... Honestly, I might leave it like that, because I wanted to kind of incorporate it with its own border, but I think we'll just leave it like that. And like the little swoop of his tail. Why is our stuff being weird? Hold on. It has decided there's a blob there. I don't know why it has decided that, but it sure did. And then I'm going to smooth out this edge. Just. Nope, that made things worse. Just leave it as it is. It's fine. Not for long you have work. Well, lucky you, we're almost done today. So we're also going to do a drop shadow as if this were a sticker, because I would like to turn these into stickers someday. We're going to make this black. We're going to do the distance. We're going to reduce the spread. Maybe we're going to increase the spread. Oh, okay, we need to increase the spread. That's what we need. Cool. There we go. Look at that. That is our sticker. I like them. I like them a lot. And this is the Cirneco dell'Etna, which I would like to go back over some of the key points. The Cirneco dell'Etna is an elegant ancient breed native to Sicily that can be found all over the island, particularly around Mount Etna. Their country of origin is Italy. These are tough, rugged dogs that thrive in the hot climate of their home country and are able to hunt across the harsh volcanic terrain surrounding the mountain. Historically, they were widely used for hunting rabbits, a task at which they still excel today. However, these smart, lively dogs also make good companions for active homes. Notable traits are their short, sleek coat, their upright, high-set ears on the head that are also close together, their low-set tail carried high and slightly curved when the dog is moving, and their weird little feet. They have slightly oval, strong, and well-knuckled feet. They are a medium to small breed that require a decent amount of exercise, but not very much grooming. They are about 16 to 20 inches tall. They weigh about 17 to 27 pounds, and their average life expectancy is 12 to 15 years. They are not currently recognized by the AKC, but they are in the FSS class. They are considered a 4 out of 5 on affection, playfulness, friendliness to dogs and strangers, and a 3 out of 5 on ease of training. So they are a little bit stubborn. And then hopefully, next week we're going to do the New Guinea singing dog, and we'll make another sticker for those guys, because they look fun. They kind of remind me of like a Kaikan almost. But I think we'll call this good for today. We'll save this, we'll call it good. Eventually I might actually get these as stickers, because I think that would be dope. But for now, just this. Just this for now. Just a little guy. Look at him. There will be a quiz next week. You guys better have absorbed all of the information, the whole like 5 facts from today, because we will be doing Kahoot and we will be learning. Eventually, once when we get through like a ton of the breeds, I would like to do a Kahoot that's just, what dog is this picture? What dog is this picture? Like, but for now we're going to be learning. We're going to be using our big brain to remember about the Cirneco dell'Etna. So let's go on a raid. We're going to go on a raid and we're going to skedaddle. Ooh, someone's drawing cats. Guys are drawing cats. Let's go raid the cat people. I won't be able to go because I'm doing it. It's alright. If you win the Kahoot, you get bragging rights. If not, you just don't get bragging rights. That's the rules for Kahoot. We are unable to raid. Did they stop streaming? No, it just won't let us. Oh, they just started 30 seconds ago. Did they? Did they really? No. Well, here we're gonna look at these butts. These little butt stickers, because these look adorable. We're gonna go raid them then, since we can't raid the cats. That's okay. I won't be able to join you guys in the raid because I have stuff and things to do today, unfortunately. So many things. I still gotta work on that suit. Oh, there's not enough days till MCFC, guys. But we'll make it. And I will see you guys tomorrow for more suit making again, because tomorrow is a suit making day. Bye, guys.